Please rise for the Romanian national anthem and the anthem of the European Union. Our first speakers will lead the European Liberal family in the election battle to come. Please give a warm welcome to the ALDE Party co-presidents Ilhan Kyuchuk and Timi Duli.
Mulțumesc,
Thank you. Thank you, dear colleagues, dear friends.
Good evening.
Good evening, Bucharest.
It's a real pleasure to be here among so many friends. And I would like to recognize the good work of many of you, starting by recognizing the great leadership of Cătălin Drua, Dambar, Navad, Botoș, and many others. And I see among you my good friend Mircea from Maramureș County. As you know, the war between Israel and Hamas obviously weighs heavily on our hearts and minds. The past few weeks, we have witnessed terrible suffering in a war that recalls our darkest moments in history. Whether it is in this war in the Middle East, Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine, the recent Russian attacks on European energy infrastructure, the terrorist attacks in France and Belgium, our unity remains our strength. We cannot give in to fear, dear friends. Despite recent events, I feel the energy here tonight, energy of hope, of ambition, of change. In this historical city with diverse culture and deep roots, I'm reminded of the strength of our European bond. Now, I've traveled a bit, listened to what people from different corners of our continent have to say. And the question I often hear is, do our leaders really understand our struggles? Can they really solve our problems? These questions, my friends, comes from the cynicism that is in the minds of many, born from years of broken promises from populists on the right and left. We are here tonight to prove that it doesn't have to be this way. I said it a year ago in front of you, and I say it again. We know it won't be PSD and PNL, or the Christian Democrats and the Socialists that will bring the necessary reforms to come out of the current crisis we are living through. Friends, Romania has a significant year ahead. 4 elections await. The first European one. It's not just a political event, any of the political events. It's an opportunity for USR, the only liberal and pro-European party in Romania, to set the precedent, to set the momentum for the following elections. Our continent has seen the damage of extremism can cause. Romania cannot afford to tread the path Poland recently walked for a long 8 years. An almost wasted decade for a country that showed incredibly promise, a promise that can be fulfilled under new political leadership. We are here and we are happy to have them back. We are proud Europeans. We celebrate our shared history, our shared dreams, and our shared challenges. But we must also acknowledge the looming shadows of divisive politics. Growing up under communism, I remember when the fall of the Berlin Wall symbolized a promise of freedom and unity for so many Eastern Europeans. That promise felt fulfilled as we joined NATO for our defense. It felt fulfilled as we joined the European Union to be finally reunited with our fellow Europeans. Yet, the continued exclusion of Bulgaria and Romania from Schengen undermines the very principles that the EU was founded upon, making some citizens feel like second-class members of this union. Know that you will always have us to advocate for Romanian and Bulgarian accession to Schengen. Now is the time. Now is the time to deliver. As we look forward to this first fight, the European elections, I urge every Romanian, every European to make use of their energy, their passion for united, liberal, and progressive Europe. Victoria, dear friends.
Delegates, USR embodies that spirit. It's not just a party, it's a movement to save Romania, to uplift it, to keep it on its European path. Now let's be clear, we cannot have Romania or any other country walk down the path of Orban and Kaczynski. We must be vigilant. Our position as kingmakers in the European Parliament is not handed to us, or was not handed to us on a silver platter. It was earned. It was earned through hard work, through dedication, through campaigning, and most importantly, by delivering on our promises. Now, the people of Europe have given us their trust, gave us their trust in 2019. We must honour that. We must keep the hope. And let's be clear, hope, powerful as it is, cannot stand alone. We need to roll up our sleeves and get the work done. The world is watching us. It needs us. And we cannot afford to let hope remain just a beautiful word. We must give it life. We must give it meaning. We need to address some major issues. We need to address climate change, moving to renewables faster than we thought was necessary. But we cannot leave anyone behind. While some academics and environmentalists talk about the end of the world, and they're right, But we must also think about those who are trying to make it to the end of the week. We need to deliver sustainable economic growth so that people can once again believe their children will have a better future than they had had themselves. We need to earn people's trust through action and reform, not hollow slogans or words. We need to give them more of a say in how Europe is run by making our institutions more effective and, importantly, more transparent. We need to help Ukraine win the war. And in doing so, we must strengthen our own defence capabilities and our economic security for Europe's continued independence. Delegates, never again can we allow ourselves to be in the position that we were in early 2022. We thought Russia was going a different direction. How wrong we were. We can never allow ourselves to be in that position of weakness again. I know USR is more than ready for this. With its strong foundation and unwavering dedication to the European cause, it stands as a glaring example for many of us in the Liberal family to follow. But we all know that strength doesn't come from what we can do. It comes from overcoming the things we once thought we couldn't. Now, I know ALDE, under the banner of Renew, and we're so happy to have Stefan Sojourner, from head of the Renew group, with us. And I know that group and ourselves together is ready so that all the cynics out there, to those who doubt, to those who question, to those who think the election is already lost, to our competitors, I say watch us. Watch us mobilise our voters. Watch us as we channel this energy into results. Because we're not just here to participate, we're here to lead. And to our friends in USR, you're not alone on this journey. We all know Europe is not just a continent. It's much, much more. It's a promise. It's a promise of unity. It's a promise of peace, of a future where every voice in every member state matters, regardless of the size of the member state. Romania now finds itself at the heart of that promise. Let's keep it there. Let's show people that when Europe unites, there is nothing that we cannot do. Thank you sincerely for your participation here. I look forward with Ilhan and our Bureau to engage with all of you over the coming 24 hours. Enjoy the rest of the evening, but be here in the morning to participate in the important work that needs to be done. Thank you.
Coming up to a very important election year, the Renew Group will fight to shape the future of Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, next on stage, Renew Group President Stéphane Séjourné.
Bon, chers amis,
My dear friends, dear Elena, dear Dan, dear Vlad, dear Catalin, dear friends, it's quite the pleasure and always a great pleasure to come back to Bucharest. Last year at your National Council, I already had the opportunity to see your determination. The energy that animates you, USR, to save Romania and to defend the European Union that we want and that we forge in the European Parliament. And as you see in this room, you have with you an entire political family that stands alongside you, found here in this city, and you are part of this family, and it's very important. I share the words of my friends Ilhan and Tommy, it's quite the spirit of family within Renew Europe. This family consisting of the 100 European deputies of 24 nationalities, and many are with us this evening. But this family also consists of national and parliamentaries, local elect ministers, heads of parties. This family lives because the European Union is in the DNA of all of us, and each party member of Renew has this European DNA in their heart. More than in any other parties. And this spirit is maintained all throughout the year by dedicated political militants. And I've seen many international officers that I want to salute today. You are so numerous this evening. Dear friends, the last 5 years have been quite a turning point for our political family. For the first time in the history of the European Parliament, we have put an end to the duopoly of socialists and conservatories. For the first time, the liberals and the Democrats were in the center of the game, the center of the democratic game of the European Parliament. We undertook responsibilities. We undertook to change the European Union. I think Ilhan said that we are the ones to change this European Parliament, and we have to be proud of this, what we've achieved, the Green Deal, the Social Europe, the Resilience Plan, the Industrial Strategy, the defense of SMEs, the relinquished support for Ukraine. This is us, ALDE, Renew, and European and national parliament members that rebuilt this portfolio that you have before you. We were never in so many high-level positions all throughout the EU in the member states. And I'm thinking of Mark Rutte in the Netherlands, Alexandra De Croo in Belgium. I'm thinking Emmanuel Macron in France, Kaja Kallas in Estonia, Robert Glob in Slovenia, in Denmark, in Finland, in Lithuania, in Germany, in Luxembourg, in Ireland, we have the support and we have our strong liberal values in pro-European governments, and you also have coalitions. And I think this is an added value that we should all have among us and that you should claim. We were also victorious winners against the illiberal values appearing in Europe. Who ended Jan Jens's political abuse in Slovenia? Renew Europe. Who allowed the change in Poland after 8 years of illiberal power? Renew Europe. And Dan, you saw as an electoral observer when a people and the youth rally together to stand against illiberalism, and they fight for democracy. Let me restate my commitment to our promise. We are the alternative to the old-fashioned politics. We are the only true fighters against illiberalism in the EU. We believe that the European Union is better governed from the center than from the extremes. We share this challenge with you, the USR members. I know, Catalina, that your push there is in Romania a clear alternative to the duopoly of socialists and panelists. You prove every day that this political structure can have a future. The past 5 years have been again quite the turning point for our political family. 2024 is going to be a turning point for the European Union and for Romania. There is a real risk. Let me speak of it. To have an alliance of extremists and Europhobes that block Europe, and the consequences would be dramatic. In every country, you have to stop this from happening. In Romania, I know that there is a party, our AUR, a national extremist that was never so highly joined and followed, and this happens in other countries as well. But who better than us to beat this party? Who be the alternative? The old corrupt parties that cannot manage the budget of the country? No, neither. We are the ones, pro-Europeans, Renew Europe, and you, USR. And we will have this task to convince the citizens of the political alternative, the European political alternative. You and us, we are the representatives of this political force. To conclude, Elena, because we speak of Europeans, you will have to take alongside Vlad, who is with us, and Dan, the first battle in this super electoral elections year in Romania, because it's going to be a difficult elections year. We'll stand with you, all of you. Who better than you to show that we can change the day-to-day life of Romanians? I know that your action as a mayor was an example. There's nothing better than the local executive to show that we can change the day-to-day life of Romanians. I am sure that, as happened in 2019, we will be the ones to create the surprise in Romania. The greater in numbers, USR deputies, the stronger the Renew Europe, the more we will be able to change the European Parliament and to have a strong European Union. We will be able to change things. Let me thank you for the invitation. All the best for the next elections. Long live USR, Renew Europe, Romania, and thank you all.
No less than 4 elections will take place in Romania this upcoming year, and the European elections will set the tone for local, national, and presidential polls. So now, give it up for USR lead candidate for the European Parliament, Elena Lasconi.
Voi nici nu știți ce emoție am.
You don't imagine how nervous I am, what's going on in my heart. Everyone thinks that I worked in TV and that's that. No more butterflies. I'm always nervous.
În urmă mai bine de 20 de ani,
More than 20 years ago, I bought, with quite difficulty,
credit ipotecar,
with a mortgage,
un apartament.
an apartment in Bucharest.
Pe vremea aia
At that time,
eram o mamă
I was a single mom,
care creștea singură un copil.
raising by herself a child.
La fiecare leu.
I had to think of every penny I spent.
Dar eram foarte entuziasmată.
But I was so enthusiastic. It was my first home, and I thought I could give my child a beautiful and safe home. I remember that at that time, my daughter really wanted a room with pink walls with very many Barbie dolls. I would do anything for my child, as I am sure that you all would for your children.
Dar cel mai
But the most important thing for me was to know that she is safe. You know, that safety that is in my hands. So I spent my last money and restored the electrical wiring, the plumbing, and I invested into a gas heating system to have heat. And I've explained my daughter that long-standing important things start with those that are not easily seen. I don't know how my kid got that. Dolls, electrical wiring, pink walls, pipes. But I think children understand these things in better. It's true, 2 years later, I could give her the room that she wanted. And I thought and pondered, if I had the possibility to get legally money to turn the home of my dreams for myself and my child by writing a project, I think I wouldn't have slept at night. I wouldn't have had peace and quiet to deliver a project that cannot be refused. The home or the house is the city. Home is the country. And if you voice your priorities for a solid, strong country, I think that people understand. As they understood, the people in Kumpulong, the smart Kumpulong people that I represent today, understood that we can no longer pour asphalt on rotten pipes, that we can't order new furniture in an old home that is about to crumble under its weight. As any Romanian understands that important things are done with an old house by strengthening and consolidating its foundation. I'm disgusted by the fact that every 4 years we are being given a piece of furniture. You know, something on top to shine. And we become ever more weak, ever more poor. We are weaker because we are less. Many, many Romanians leaving Romania that know that this, something on top that shines is just a lie. It's just a ruse, and it hurts. It pains me. And I know that there are very many Romanians that think of their children and grandchildren abroad to work. It's painful. And you are my friends. My daughter is abroad. She doesn't want to come back ever to this country. It's true. There are few of us left that believe in change and with all their passion. And I'm also a living example that change is possible, especially because we are fortunate to be in the EU with only one person hired with European funds that really worked heavily and with passion. We've managed to bring non-refundable European funds in Kumpulong as the budget city lasts for 40 years equivalent.
Nu cred.
I don't believe there is any example of public administration in Romania having had achieved that in only 3 years. But I know for sure that there are many mayors in their fifth mandate who haven't achieved even 10% of what I've achieved in Câmpulung in 3 years, not in the 20 years they've been in power. It is true we are impatient. I want to see things happen quickly and the right way, but try to be honest with yourselves and just think how many times you achieved something great in your lives and how long did it take? How many of you have won the lottery? And if you are among the lucky ones who have, how many of you, those who have won, how many are you happy? I think the lesson we should learn in life is the lesson of love. If you have love within, and if you share love, then you receive love. And what's important is not to have expectations, because when you don't have expectations, you become happier and for sure you become inspirational. This is my belief. I wanted to do something good. That's all. I didn't know I'm good at public administration. I didn't know I was good at politics. I did simply what I felt it was right. And if any one of us gave our best every day, I believe we would have a stronger country and we would be happier, more satisfied. Why is it important to have good people, skilled people, where we have the European funds determined? Because the European funds are what saves us. We are not a rich country, and it is important to attract more European funds. How important it is to have good people, honest people, competent people in the European Parliament when we have next door wars boiling, economic crisis boiling, and it's of the essence. I don't know what you are thinking, but I know what our vision is. And I know I will do my best to save our house, Romania. Thank you.
Our next speaker is both a USR candidate for the European Parliament and an ALDE party vice president, a man who's been through several campaigns and took USR into government in 2020. Please welcome Dan Barna.
Dear Timi, Ilhan, our beloved Elena, Cătălin, dear colleagues, dear friends, welcome in ALDE Council in Bucharest, a new occasion for us, the European liberal family, to get together and plan the future. I would have wished for this council to take place in a brighter times. I would have wanted to see each other under different circumstances. But unfortunately, we are meeting in a time when we are facing multiple crises, each one of whom more worrying than the others. We have to talk about war, about economics, about immigrations, about the rise of the far right in our countries and beyond. It was not meant to be this way. And what is happening in the world these days, I think, is the greatest test from our generation. A generation of Europeans who, for many years, have been engaged in consolidating democracy, prosperity, and justice, in building Europe as a welcoming and tolerant home. To our credit, we managed to build just like that. No matter what the pessimists are saying, Europe was and is today a good place to live in. And I will switch in Romanian, and I will repeat. Orice ar spune pesimiștii, Europa este astăzi...
I will say it in Romanian. No matter what the pessimists are saying, Europe was and is a good place to live in. Europe, European Union, have shown us that decent and honest cooperation are possible. We can get real and beneficial results despite the history of scars we all bear. Our Europe is not perfect. We have a lot to improve in order to get where we want, where we all dream. Actually, we will probably be working for our entire lives, and then this will be continued by those who are in our youth organizations. And I want to greet them now, because the European project can be better, better and better. Dear friends, so far we've been sailing through crises, guiding ourselves by firm values, and we will have to do the same, because hesitation in front of history's waves would bring to unimaginable disasters. And history has this bad habit of repeating itself. Maybe because we people, one generation after another, we tend to forget history, not to learn much of it, because for sure we believe this time for us, for our generation, things will be different. For 5,000 years, the war has been a tragedy for every society. Nothing changes when we speak of war. It's enough to have a look across our eastern border to see where a country who believes in nothing can be. A country marching with the frustrations of a dictator. I'm talking here about Putin's Russia, the most current example of failure of an entire society. The Russia, which was confiscated by Putin, is a warning for our people. If we do not defend our homes, if we are not in solidarity with our neighbors, one day our homes can be in flames again. The temptation of fire, of people who are putting up fires in our society is real, and we have to take notice. Look at Hungary, whose prime minister is not ashamed to shake the hand of a war criminal like Vladimir Putin. Hungary so far placed a bet on darkness, but I believe Hungary will turn back to Europe, to where it belongs, because no dictatorship can have a future. Luckily, we have antibodies. In the recent elections in Poland, where I was recently as an OSCE observer, I could feel on the streets in Warsaw and Krakow, I felt that amazing energy of the citizens who queued for voting up to 3 o'clock in the morning, because they assumed their willingness to send home a conservative and populist government who wanted to take them out of Europe. I've heard opinions saying that the European liberalism is taking a step back, because now it's the time of populists, nationalists, tribalists, isolationists, racist and xenophobic characters. Do you know what I know about us, those present here? I know we can mobilize in a fabulous manner in crisis situation, because crisis brings to light strong characters. And we all know from the meetings of our own parties that the Liberal Democrats are not lacking strong characters. The Romanian colleagues remember the difficult and historical times in 2018 were full of enthusiasm and determination, made it possible to have today in Romania no criminally convicted persons in public office. We will get mobilized similarly for the 4 rounds of elections, where at the end of which I can ensure you, you will have reasons to be proud of you, to be proud of us. And what I'm asking from those present here in the room, from the parties you are representing, is precisely the same thing European citizens are asking us to take to the European Parliament people who are skilled, who believe in our joint European future, people who are truly capable to defend the interests of these citizens. For USR, this council is the opportunity to launch a remarkable team of candidates. You will see them on stage very soon. It's a list I am proud and honored to be on. These are great people, and this is just the starting point of our journey for 2024. It will not be easy. It won't be easy anywhere in Europe, but we haven't joined an easy fight. We are determined, we are united, we are here to grow together for Romania, for ALDE, for Europe. Thank you.
And now, officially launching USR's candidates for the EU elections, the man who will lead Romania's true liberals through 4 battles next year, USR President and leader of the opposition, Cătălin Drulă.
Hello, everyone, and dear ALDE friends, welcome to Bucharest. Timi and Ilhan, welcome. Bienvenue, Stefan. It's a great pleasure and an honor to host you all in my native city of Bucharest at this ALDE Council. Now you're going to need to put your headphones on. Yep. Dragi prieteni,
Dear friends, we are very proud to host this council here in Bucharest. We are very proud that USR is the host of the event. I want to thank Ilhan Küçük and Timi Doli for their support and trust. I want to thank all our partners in the European Liberal and Democrats Alliance. And I also want to speak my previous speaker, my friend Dan Barna, who spoke earlier as Vice President ALDE. He is coordinating a very important chapter, the rule of law and fundamental rights in the ALDE manifesto for the elections next year. For me, the fact that this council is taking place in Bucharest and the fact that one of the USR leaders is ALDE vice president is a recognition of the role played by USR in the European liberal family. Also, I believe this is a recognition of the role Romania holds in Europe. And since we are speaking of that, before anything, I want to say one very clear thing to be heard from Brussels to Vienna. Romania deserves to be a part of Schengen. Romania and Bulgaria are unrightfully held outside Schengen, and this injustice is weakening the European project, and I'm asking all of you here to remove it. For Romania, the EU accession meant a chance, a historical opportunity and chance to development, prosperity and freedom. However, just like the previous speakers mentioned, Europe is going through many crises. We've had the pandemic, a historical negative event, the price increases, the inflation, and now the war in Ukraine. And this is a background of restlessness and fear for the future. And this is fertile for extremism. And we've seen extremism growing in our continent. And unfortunately, the hate speech is today too loud in the European politics. But we should not be discouraged, because the fair fight has always been the tough fight. And I want to say today, loud and clear, empty populism without real solutions can and must be defeated.
Unde
Where are the solutions? The real solutions are within the liberal democracy, regardless what all sorts of lunatics are stating. The right solutions are the liberal solutions. Well-spent public money, stimulating private economy and innovation, defending democracy and the rule of law. In Romania, we have corrupt and irresponsible government. These are two parties which do not belong together. The socialists from the Social Democratic Party and the liberals from the National Liberal Party. They are jeopardizing the Romanian economy. It's a government which is defined by fiscal irresponsibility, and they are suffocating democracy. The rule of law is suffering today in Romania, just like the private economy, which is burdened by the taxes imposed by a cynical government whose priority is only the privilege of the new nomenclature. The result is that for the first time after 1989, most Romanians do not believe that the young people nowadays will have a better future than their parents. But the question is, how can we change this reality? How can we rebuild people's trust in the future? And for me, the answer is clear. We are rebuilding trust by applying the biggest reform plan in Romania after 1899, the National Resilience and Recovery Plan, and RRP, 28 billion euro for modern schools, clean hospitals, highways and railways, hundreds of millions of euro for local communities. And let's make it clear, the Romanian NRRP was developed by USR. In the 8th month, we were part of the government. Elena Asconi got 103 million lei under NRRP for the energy efficiency of the buildings in her city. It would have taken more than 10 years for this amount to be raised from local taxes. Elena gained 10 years for Câmpul Lung with the help of NRRP, and this is what a country plan should do to help us jump to the future. Unfortunately, our government today seems willing to sacrifice this future to maintain, to preserve their power and privileges. It's the mentality that held us back for 30 years, and this is why people are losing their faith in politics, and they are saying, you are all the same. No, we are not all the same. We are not all the same. My colleagues are working every day. Elena is working, Cristina Pruno is working every day in the parliament to reduce taxes for Romanians who want to become prosumers, thus encouraging the transition towards green energy. In Brussels, Vlad Botoș had no less than 68 legal amendments, and he is one of the most active and respected Romanian Europarlamentaries. Vlad Voiculescu sacrificed years from his life to bring medicine for the cancer sufferers long before being a politician. And every day, this is what our colleagues are doing, whether they are members of a city hall, a local council, of the parliament, of the European Parliament. And this is our commitment before our voters. We are going to work to change Romania, to turn it into a modern country where honest work is paid fairly, where the rules are the rules for everyone, where the state is serving the people, not the politicians, where young people have a better future than their parents. How do we get there? The next year, we will bring together with us, everyone who wants change, and together we are going to ask people a mandate to modernize Romania, to produce reforms. There are many elections in 2024. In Romania, we will change our president, we will vote for another parliament, and we are going to elect our mayors and councillors. But the first elections are the elections for the European Parliament. They will set the tone, and they may get the momentum for the force of change, and we must do everything so that in the Europarliamentary elections we should get a historical score. And this is why we will bring before our voters not only the best plan for modernizing the country, but also the best list of candidates. So, dear colleagues, dear guests, I'm proud to be here today before you to present the USR candidates for the European Parliament. I will read their names and invite them to join me on stage. Elena Lasconi, Dan Barna, Vlad Voiculescu, Vlad Botoș, Cristina Prună, Radu Mihail, Corina Atanasiu, Adriana Cristian, George Cima, Teodora Stoian, Ramona Goga, Alina Gârbea, Geta Gărăghiș, Alina Toti,
Emilia Matescu,
Mihai Schwab, Emilia Matescu, Ion Belu, Gabriela Ferguson, Lucia Hang, Adrian Pop, Lucian Judele, Rahul Luca Bercea, Ciprian Alexandru, Andrei Chirica, Răzvan Sokolov, Adrian Giurgiu, Sergiu Grui, Daniela Șarpe, Aurel Fierăscu, Alina Bălășcu, Alex Cosma, Silviu Andrei, Lucia Udrescu, Mihai Zvâncă, Laurențiu Gheorghe, Eliana Ursa, Florin Drăgulin, Marian Lazar, Robert Voicu, Alexandru German, Irena Pleșoiu, Eusebiu Iftode, and Ivan Bleda. Thank you, colleagues. I place my faith in you. I place my faith in USR, in Romania, in Europe. Together we build change.
Bellissimo. 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 Bravo. Bellissimo. Did you like it, sir? Excellent. Very good show. Very good show.
Congratulations, good to see you. Beautiful.
Yeah, well, we need to inspire and bring some
Well,
energy.
let's just bring it and then it's going to get a vision. I mean, yeah, lovely. It's such a resort.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's nice. It's good. So, yeah, it's great to have you here. Finally, glad to have you. I was born here. you're in my home city.
Wonderful.
Ah, să fie, dar liniștit. Zici mie dacă mai am vreun de la pe mine. Nu. Ok.
Gata, ne coborâm? Cred că da. În partea dreaptă?
Hai să ne îmbrățișez. Așa e emoționant acum. Doamne, Doamne, Doamne. Cum facem poza? Vreau să vă felicit că v-am văzut iar. Hai mă să te felicit și pe tine că nu ne-ai dat nici.